So tell me, have you ever been around that one person in your life or an acquaintance that is just so happy in their own life? And it just kind of irritates you a little bit. And I mean, like they're truly genuinely happy, not like charming, fake, narcissistic, happy at first on the surface type of superficiality happiness. No, like the real genuine, they're just happy in life. They're just relaxed and they just enjoy it and you just kind of want some of it, right? And there's just that underlying like irritation sometimes that you might feel because you just can't understand why. Well, I have been observing this, and through my own journey and my own experience and my own observation of people, this is what I've found to be that happy people have in common. So this is like what a happy person does each day, or they just kind of do naturally, that maybe some of us other people struggle with or we don't do naturally, okay? So first, it's happy people, they follow their passion, right? So they figure out what really lights them up, what really brings them energy and just joy out of life, and that's where they put their energy. They incorporate in that into their day each day, even if it's just for a short time. Yes, we all have busy lives, but they don't really make that as an excuse to not incorporate what makes them happy. Just they follow their joy, they follow their passion. They know what lights them up, and they have that wisdom to add that in each day, right? Because you want to incorporate more happiness into your day. So if you know what brings you joy, you find a way to add it in, even if it's in a small amount, right? That gives you a little bit of something to look forward to each day. So happy people, that are just naturally, truly, genuinely happy, they follow their passion. They follow what lights them up. They bring that into their life so that they have a little bit of that each day. And then that's motivating to keep going forward and to keep doing that. And the more that you do what you love, the more of the results that you want come into your life quickly and abundantly, because that positive energy it's just flowing, right? So happy people bring passion into their life. Okay, and number two, they don't believe every thought that comes into their head. So they know that you can't believe every thought you have just because this sentence goes through your mind. Doesn't make it true. So I believe that happy people have the ability to challenge those sentences, those negative thoughts that might bring some of us down. They challenge it and they really incorporate logic, maybe a little less emotion in this type of situation. It's good to have a balance of emotion and logic, but they're able to, instead of engaging with these negative thoughts, they challenge it. They look at it in a different way. They understand that just because they're thinking it doesn't mean that it's true. They might ask themselves, like, is this actually realistic? Is there a good chance that the outcome that I want to happen that might be opposite of this negative effect, is that possible too? Okay, well, maybe I choose to believe that more often or think that thought more often. They're not so controlled by just a sentence that goes through their head, a negative thought, a belief. So happier people, they just don't believe every thought they have, because they know that just because you think a thought doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's for sure going to happen. And they kind of slow that process down and don't engage with it as much so that it doesn't affect their day in a negative way, like so often happens to a lot of us. That is a common thing that we get stuck in. I mean, I know for sure me, that was not a concept I understood growing up, and I wish I had. I didn't always understand that just because I thought something didn't mean it wasn't true, which might sound really simple to some people, but that was a big awakening moment when I learned that. And just because I have a thought doesn't mean I have to believe it. It doesn't make it true. It's just a sentence. It's just a sentence that goes through your head. And I can choose to think about a different sentence, right? Okay. So a third thing that I find happier people tend to do is that they respect themselves, right? They respect their boundaries and they have better self-talk. So they treat themselves better. They have more compassion for themselves. They know when to say no, right? So they have that ability to enforce their boundaries or walk away from situations that they can feel isn't good for them, isn't healthy. They can identify those type of things and they can respect and love themselves enough to get out of it if they need to, manage it better, or however that looks like in that specific situation. They have that ability to regulate their emotions a little bit, respect themselves, have compassion for themselves. They're not putting themselves down, beating themselves up all the time in their own mind. And they can respect and love the boundaries and if they need time alone, they give that to themselves. If they need whatever it is that they need, if they need to eat healthier foods that day, if they need to exercise more, they have the ability. Happier people have the ability to kind of have that inner dialogue with themselves and ask themselves, what do I need today to feel a little bit better? Or what do I need in this situation to get more of the outcome that I want? And okay, once they have that, ask that question, have the answer, then they actually apply it, right? So then they might go exercise if they know that that's going to help them, or they might say no to a situation, or they might walk away from a negative conversation. So they respect themselves and they respect what they need, and they're kind to themselves about it. They're not beating themselves up, maybe because they, made a mistake or didn't do the best on a project or something that day. So they give themselves compassion. That is huge. The way we speak to ourselves is huge for our happiness. The way we treat ourselves, more of us need to learn to be more of a friend to ourselves instead of being so hard on ourselves. So I find that is definitely something that happier people are able to do. And then number 4 is that they accept themselves the way that they are, and they accept others the way that they are. So this is kind of like they can manage their expectations around others, right? So we don't expect others to give something that they are not capable of giving. And that goes the same for ourselves, right? A happier person accepts themselves the way that they are, and they just have a love for themselves, and they know what their limitations are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. They just have that good relationship with themselves, and they accept themselves the way that they are. And so that they're able to accept other people in their life the way that they are, because it's not really fair to have these expectations of people in our lives that they just can't meet, right? That's not really fair. And it's just kind of setting the situation up for disappointment. If you have these high expectations that somebody just is not able or willing to meet, but you're still expecting this, more than likely you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to have some bitterness or anger or whatever that might look like. That's not going to add to your happiness each day, right? Especially if these people are in your life regularly, like actively in your life, and you just are constantly feeling disappointed. Maybe you need to reevaluate how you see them and what you expect, and manage that a little bit. Maybe that can bring some of that anger and bitterness down. And number 5, they laugh more. Happier people just laugh more, and not laugh more at someone else's expense. This isn't laughing at someone, because really deep down, if you're honest with yourself, that doesn't feel good, and it shouldn't feel good. To laugh at somebody and put somebody else down, to, be the center of attention, or to look cool or whatever. Pretty much everybody knows that that isn't cool. No, that's not the type of laughter that I'm talking about. And I feel like that's important to specify because unfortunately there are a lot of people in the world that use other people to, put other people down to make themselves feel better. I'm talking true, genuine, happy laughter, right? Just it's light and it's laughing at yourself more. It's laughing with your friends and your family more and just a clean, happy kind of laughter. Everybody knows the difference. You can feel the difference when somebody's just being playful and light and happy and using laughter in, a positive, healthy way versus, being passive aggressive, making jokes or sarcastic or just plain out mean. That's not the laughter. I mean, I don't believe truly happy people use others and make fun of others or laugh at others or anything like that to bring joy into their life. So happier people, they just laugh. They laugh at themselves. If they do something that's kind of silly or whatever, they have the ability to just stop and laugh, and because we all do it. And they have the ability to just be lighter and just have a little bit more fun. Laughter is actually stress relieving, and it's you just feel better, right? When you can genuinely have like a good laugh. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our busy days that we forget to laugh and to breathe and relax and have fun and just enjoy the day. So this is what I find happier people do. Happier people, they laugh more, they manage their expectations, they respect themselves more and have better self-talk. They don't believe every thought that they have just because they have a thought. And they follow their passion. So that was number one. They follow their passion. Whatever lights them up and makes them feel energized and alive, they add that more into their day. And over time, you will just have more of these happy moments and you'll just start to realize that you're just overall a little bit happier when you get out of bed in the morning, or a little bit happier when you lay down at night, or just all throughout the day. You can find little ways to incorporate your passion and your enjoy, and just practice one at a time even. I know I listed the 5 things that I've found happier people do, but just doesn't mean you have to overwhelm yourself and try to incorporate all of this tomorrow. Today, start with just one of these things and just practice. And then as you get comfortable with that, pick another. Come back to this video if you don't remember all of the things, and then when you master one, move on to another. Start with the one that feels easiest. Start with the one that you get the most excited to try. And then when you start to feel a little bit happier, you'll get more motivated to keep going. And you can learn to have a little bit more happiness and joy in your everyday life. And then you get more of the results that you want. And that's motivating, and you keep going. And then your goals will just keep continuing and you'll be excited about it. Okay, so watch some of my other videos on this. I have other videos that talk about how to get your outcomes, how to get the outcomes that you want, how to have the life that you want, how to build confidence. Yeah, just check those out. And remember that you can always come back to this or write it down so that you don't forget, and put a screenshot or something on your phone and just practice a little bit of this stuff each day. And you'll see your mindset and your life transform. Okay. Well, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.